The following program is sponsored by Capitec.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Insider Essay, your guide to living better. Join us today as we open up to garden variety with Nzwisisai Dyirakumunda, a lawyer and flower farmer finding nature to be her greatest healer. Sam Mauvis trades the corporate jungle to launch a unique paper flower decor company. Chef and sustainable farmer Tabby Robertshaw says eat the weeds and start with a nettle and nasturtium cake. Singer-songwriter Tyler Page gets inspired by fellow citizens outgrowing substance abuse through urban vegetable farming. Artist Eve De Jong upcycles plastic bottle tops into the funkiest baobab trees. And Susie Harris-Leblond shares the joys of inheriting a legacy family garden. When Tabby Robertshaw and Alex Shuley returned from London 13 years ago, it was with a dream to begin a small beekeeping business and a productive veggie garden. It became a blueprint for how the world can live better.
Welcome, the Insider Essay, to our sustainable farm in Stamford. Let's get gardening. I'm Tabby. I'm the farmer here. We have a small holding, a sustainable agriculture business. We're trying to keep a closed loop system going, everything happening on the farm. We eat all the veggies from our garden and we farm our own meat. Today we're going to make a compost heap, easy DIY compost heap, and use some nettles to make a delicious cake to show you how much fun zero waste gardening can be.
Starting with 2 pregnant pigs, they now have 100, and their veggie offering has rapidly expanded too.
We got the amazing opportunity to move to Falfley a year ago, set up a sustainable business, and hopefully make it into a viable, sustainable agricultural farm. We try to keep everything as local as possible. Most of my veggie production, the surplus, goes to nearby restaurants and markets. To me, it's important to know where your food comes from, to know how it's farmed, and to know that what you're eating is ethically sourced and naturally farmed. I studied chefing many years ago. I worked in quite a few places. I realized that the amount of food waste in the industry is astronomical, and so I decided I would only work in a kitchen again if it was my own business.
Tabby ran a farm-to-fork restaurant for 8 years and is now putting this experience to good use as a supplier.
I specialize in growing interesting, different veggies that you don't normally see in the shop. So I speak to the chefs and ask them what they want for the season, and we plan a menu together and I grow accordingly. I harvest to order, so there's no wastage in the harvesting process. All the trimmings go back to the animals, eventually back into the garden.
As well as their pigs, chickens and rabbits, a small herd of Dexter cows provide ample manure.
I think one of the most important things to have on a small holding is animals to reduce waste to a very usable manure, which is vital for plants to access nutrients that they wouldn't normally be able to access direct from the soil. It's important to have a lot of microbes in the soil, fungi and bacteria, beneficial bacteria that help break down and transport those nutrients.
In her typically practical way, Farmer Robertshaw has a fail-safe model for making compost.
You can use anything to build your compost heap. You can even just do it in a rough pile. I like to use this old bit of fencing from the farm just to keep it nicely contained. For this compost heap, we're going to line it with cardboard just to keep it nicely insulated, and will help it turn to compost a lot quicker. Building a compost heap is super simple, very forgiving. You can forget to add layers, you can add more than you need. All it is taking time and a bit of water, and if you want it quicker, you just got to put in a bit more work. A great component in the compost heap is bedding from the animal pens, so from the chickens, pigs and rabbits. You've got good compost in the straw. That helps activate the compost. If you don't have animals in your garden, you can use comfrey, which is a great activator. Here I'm emptying my compost from the kitchen. We've also got paper, lemon rind, banana skins, coffee grounds, bits of cardboard. All of those natural products can be easily composted. Compost heap's mainly done. I'm just going to add a little bit more comfrey, some straw, and then we'll give it a good soaking and cover it up.
Ask which words this zero-waste gardener lives by, and she'll tell you you can even eat the weeds.
In my basket, I've got the stinging nettles, which we're going to use in the cake batter. Nettles are really good for you. They're high in iron and they've got other medicinal properties. We're going to decorate the cake with nasturtium flowers. They're very good for you. Medicinal flowers, if you have a cold or a sore throat, they help with that. Right now in the garden, we've still got the winter leeks available. Broad beans are in season. Radish flowers I'm leaving to seed for next year. And we're harvesting the last of the Asian greens, tatsoi and bok choy. Bees play a key role in our veggie garden. They are beneficial for pollinating the crops, and also the byproduct, the honey, is a key role in our business.
You'll learn more about sustainable farming and field to fork cooking in just one morning here than you would in a library of books.
We've got some sugar, eggs from the chickens. We whisk that together. The milk gets heated with the butter. Poured over the stinging nettles, which gets blended, and then we mix all that together.
Tabby's mission is to show that it is possible to feed the world with this model of regenerative farming, and to do so deliciously.
Cake's in the oven. That's going to take 20 minutes. In the meantime, we'll do the icing. We're going to make a simple butter icing. All you need is icing sugar, butter, squeeze of lemon, and I like to add some tahini to it. There really is no limit to what you can do with the weeds in the garden. You just got to be prepared to get creative and taste different, interesting recipes.
To this maverick chef, her partner and farm manager Alex Shule, and to their son Tando, this life is about not taking more than you need to be happy and comfortable.
I think it's important for everyone to try and live as zero waste as they can. We only have one planet and we need to look after it.
We are very aware of what we put into our mouths and our kids' mouths, and we just want to be more in control of what we consume and what our kids consume and those around us. And that goes for our livestock, all of the things that we have.
Our goal for the future is to be more sustainable on the farm and not have to buy in any animal feed, and try and keep everything as locally sourced as possible.
A brief slice of the good life in their garden, then it's back to harvesting honey and getting the crops ready while Alex builds an eco house. Just another day on the farm. Coming up, meet the guardian of this family legacy of a garden and the artist upcycling bottle tops into baobab trees.
Sponsored by Capitec.
In her childhood, Susie Harris-Leblond and her sisters were forever being told to mind their mother's flowers. Then she grew up, became a mum, avid gardener, and started telling her own girls to mind the flowers. Life has come full circle.
Hi, the Insider SA. I'm Susie Harris-Leblond. This is my garden and my creative space. Come along on a garden tour with me. As a child, I wasn't particularly interested in greenery and growing things and plants. I moved to London, I did a gap year, which turned into a very long gap year. It was a 9-year gap year, and I fell in love with gardening there. Strangely enough, in London, I had a tiny little garden, and I started growing things there. And yeah, the bug bit. So I actually studied horticulture and garden design in London and worked as a garden designer and then as an estate manager, a gardener for 2 estates in Kent. And so I sort of really cut my teeth there.
From there, this mother of 2 got her hands dirty learning pruning, how to propagate plants and more, equipping her to be a custodian of this Eden.
This beautiful space that I am lucky enough to look after, it belongs to my husband's family. It's got a fantastic history. The house and the garden was built by a man called Leslie Hill. He was an amateur botanist and he was an accountant. But his real, he crunched numbers, but what he really loved was plants. So he planted this magnificent garden. And yeah, I'm very lucky to be able to look after it and sort of take his legacy further.
Susie grew up in the distinctly English and French-styled gardens of her two grandmothers. This one is far more exotic.
This is one of my favorite parts of the garden. This is what I call the jungle. It's got these magnificent trees and all these delicious monsters, and it is just so lush and beautiful and green. People can be intimidated by plants if you don't know what you're planting or where you're planting. It can be intimidating. So this is a fantastic one to start with if you've got a little bit of shade. A lot of people know this as a house plant. This is a delicious monster. This is a mature specimen. You can see how nice and big it's getting. It's fairly indestructible. It likes shade because it's under some oak trees here. It likes quite a lot of water, some rich soil, and eventually it'll actually want to go up into the trees. So it'll start vining and go up.
Two children with their imaginations. These gardens within gardens must be a grand expedition.
This space is really special for me. It seems like the heart of the garden. You know, Cape Town can get very windy, very hot, and the wind actually goes right over this area. So it's always still and it's tranquil, and it's just a very beautiful space where you can come and sort of just get away from the world. You know, it's this little green protected cocoon that I like to come and basically hide in. I come and hide in this jungle. So yeah, it's a very special space to me.
Having worked with plants suited to a British climate, Susie had to adapt to South African conditions.
This is my cut flower garden. This is actually where I started growing cut flowers as a cut flower farmer. It used to be an old vegetable garden, and you can see we're quite protected, so we've got this little microclimate here. We used to grow vegetables here, but because our soil is very heavy, we've got heavy clay soil here in Constantia, the vegetables did not thrive. I happened to be growing a couple of flowers and I thought, I really love this. I love growing flowers, I love cutting them for the house, I love gifting them and giving them away. That's really sort of where it started, and I started with easy flowers as well. I was growing cosmos and zinnias, and you know, those are flowers that we all grew up with. Our grannies grew them, very easy to grow. And then the bug bit, I was like, I want to grow flowers. And there's a worldwide movement towards growing what we call slow flowers. So flowers that you grow in your garden and that then you can put in your own home. Basically keeping our carbon footprint lower in terms of buying flowers. And, you know, instead of importing a lot of flowers, we grow them here, we keep them hyper-local. So really that was the idea behind growing the flowers here.
So, for beginners or novice plant lovers, does she have some universal fail-safe advice?
Top tips for planting: if you have indoor plants, don't overwater your indoor plants. It's such a rookie mistake. You think, oh, it's looking a bit sad, I'm going to give it some water. Don't. Step away from the watering can, don't water it. Leave it for a little bit, it'll probably perk up again. If you're gardening outside, I would say number one, the most important thing is get to know what kind of soil you have. It's really important to understand your soil and your soil health and build up your soil health if you need to, because that really underpins all your gardening efforts.
As well as becoming a fully fledged garden designer and sought-after botanical photographer, Susie has applied her low-carbon footprint approach to blooms well past their sell-by date. Dried flowers are yet another way to indulge a love of gardening.
Our little flower farm offers workshops, which we really love doing. It's a wonderful way to meet people and to meet our customers and to really engage. So one of the workshops that we offer is a dried flower wreath workshop. And often we've got leftover flowers at the end of the season or during the season, so we dry them. Dried flowers are amazing because obviously they last for a long time. So there are many things that you can do with them, but one of the most fantastic ways to use your dried flowers is to make a dried flower wreath. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to make little bunches from my plants here, and then I'm placing them onto the wreath here, I'm tying them on, and then I'm repeating the process. So I'm going to make little bunch, and then what I'm doing is I'm laying them across the wreath like this, and wiring them in. So I've got my florist's wire here, and this is what's going to hold together my little bunch. This takes a little bit of practice. Hold it down there, and you're going to wire it nice and tight, and then I'm going to place it down on my wreath at an angle. That is going to then be secured onto my wire base.
Next time your instinct is to reach for your phone and spend an hour scrolling and swiping, try picking some flowers and making one of these.
There you go, and there's our finished wreath. Isn't she sweet? I hope this inspires you to get outside into your green spaces, to play and experiment and get passionate about gardening. And thank you to the Insider SA for letting me show you around my garden and sharing my passion.
Active gardening, like Susie does it, is also such a complete pastime. It keeps your back, knees, wrists, shoulders, and fingers fully exercised. Gym is all well and good, but gardeners get the ultimate workout. With some recycling being an expensive and fuel-burning process, more artists are turning to upcycling, creating beautiful objects from plastics that remain in their original form.
Hi, I'm Eve De Jong, and I'm an artist, and I work with recyclable material, mainly plastic bottle tops. I started collecting bottle tops for my children's school, and then I realized that I wanted to do something with it. Plastic is waste, but you can make something beautiful out of it.
Whole Earth Recycling provides Eve with these plastic bottle tops. She makes beautiful artwork from these plastic bottle caps, and she makes a statement. You know, she's really passionate about recycling. She wants to create this education and awareness about recycling.
My favorite is, something that I can melt with my heat gun. So these are really great to melt. And then these ones I use for my chains, which I can't really melt, but they are beautiful to look at.
At Eve's home, together with Sipho Kupe, she takes wire, plastic, a heat gun, and makes art.
Welcome to my studio. This is Sipho, and he's my assistant. We work together with what we've got at hand.
We have my bottle tops, then saying washa. After washa says kutela pansi, says choose a makala, then says into a fanala like a rock or like a circle or something.
And Siva's brilliant with actually using the wire and constructing. From here, we are going to melt. The melting process takes quite a while. It could take up to 2 to 3 weeks. I love listening to the heat gun and the way the bottom top is transformed, and it's incredibly meditative.
With inexpensive materials but a lot of time invested, this team turns out one-of-a-kind artworks in monochrome and color.
Here I have our dining room area, and because I really enjoy light and atmosphere, I created these downlighters, which are balls made of melted bottle tops, and at night it creates a wonderful mood. And these are my non-violent guns. I love having fun with toys, and it's spewing out a green mess, and it's a light and it's fun. So this is my other chandelier, but it's actually like a downlighter, and the beauty of it is you can actually lift it up if it's dusty and chuck it in the pool or under a tap, and then you just put it straight back. So it's very easy to keep clean. That's the beauty of plastic.
It was while hunting a retro 70s light fitting for a party that Eve struck on her first design.
This is my big disco ball that I created for my 50th birthday. It's the bottle top as it is. My new work has a different feel about it. And this is handful because it's a play on landfill, plastic going into the land, to remind people that landfill is not a great idea. The message I would like to convey to people out there is to reconsider about how they use waste, and also how you can change something into something new. My bottle top has become a plant. My garden at home is just shades of different greens so that my art can pop out. It's the non-organic versus the organic.
These baobab tree collections clearly send the message of us needing to turn the tide against plastic pollution. Outside this hotel, they're getting the world's attention too.
Artists around the world through millennia have utilized art to become a voice of the people. We need to exact change. So it's so important for corporates and public spaces to give artists like Eve De Jong the space to be that voice.
The baobab is the most iconic South African tree. The way I constructed it is on wire mesh, and then I'm also using the non-melted bottle top to create these wonderful roots and arms that eventually become part of the nature.
Eve De Jong wants the world to be far more innovative with its waste and to appreciate this garden of a planet we all call home. Just ahead, a high-flying court advocate finds healing and wonder in her passion for farming foxgloves and snapdragons. Beyond your everyday gardener, the woman tending these beds is a farmer supplying her flowers to market. And that's just in her spare time, when she's not busy being an advocate.
Hello guys, welcome to my home. I'm Nzwisisai Dyirakumunda. You've come on the right day, the right time. I'm about to jump onto online court, so come on in and join me. I'm the first in a family of 4. I've got 2 sisters and 1 brother. I was brought up in a small coal mining town in Zimbabwe called Wange, where my parents worked. My dad is an engineer and my mom is now a retired nurse turned vegetable farmer. And I'm married to Tinashe, and we've got 2 children together, Mukudze and Matipa. Mukudze is 10 and Matipa is 8.
Nzwi calls herself an accidental farmer, reflecting a level of humility not always associated with these court robes. Clearly, she's got into law for the right reasons.
I think the highlight of being a lawyer for me is just making difference in people's lives. I was inspired to become a lawyer by my uncle, and he had a beautiful law library, and I thought when I grow up I would like to have a law library like that. So I work from home. I'm a member of the Pan-African Bar Association of South Africa, abbreviated as PABASA, and they allow us to practice without keeping chambers, so I don't keep chambers, I work from home. So typically my day would be after school run, and I've got work to do. I come and I sit here and I just get on with what I need to do, drafting, be it online court. We know that during COVID, Johannesburg and Pretoria courts moved to having online court, which was quite efficient. And if I'm not working from home, I sit at the CCMA as a part-time commissioner. You'll find me arbitrating or conciliating labor disputes, and I am passionate about labor dispute resolution amongst other practices of law.
Judging the merits of each case with a balanced view has proven a good grounding for parenting and now farming.
Balancing motherhood, practicing law, growing flowers, spending time at the CCMA is not very easy, but I've just learned to be able to focus on what I need to do at that particular time. So you'll find usually I'll go to the farm in the afternoons after I'm done. It's difficult, but I do try and find balance and also find time to play with older kids like me.
As playgrounds go, Nzwi's favourite has to be this 5-acre agricultural holding in Alberton, where she grows cut flowers.
So guys, welcome to Akanaka Blooms. This is a project I started in November 2021 to find healing, and I find so much joy being around here growing these beautiful flowers. So Akanaka is a Shona word that means beautiful. So this name was inspired by a daughter that I lost when I was 6 months pregnant. Her name was Makanaka, which means you are beautiful. So growing flowers was just a journey to find healing for myself. I was abused as an 8-year-old girl. I never really spoke about it as a young girl, and it is only now that I'm sort of of trying to deal with that pain. So I've also found joy in dealing with those emotions through growing flowers. I also have a 10-year-old son, Muku, who is disabled. He's got cerebral palsy and cognitive impairment and doesn't have speech. His disability really does pain me, and I also just find solace in being out here to deal with that pain.
Plants ask few things of you. They bounce back from adversity and give such pleasure.
So I do think flowers found me as opposed to me finding them. Initially, I wanted to grow artichokes. However, during COVID-19 in 2020, I came across an American website called Floret Flowers, and she was growing flowers. I bookmarked it, and I then thought I'll come back and look at it another day. And COVID just gave me an opportunity to look through it, and I was inspired that it would be flowers that I would grow. So I eventually bought books on flower farming, did a lot of research, and I just found that I found so much joy in the beauty that flowers are, because I think they express our emotions in our happiness, in our joys, in our sadness, in congratulatory. We celebrate with flowers and we mourn with flowers and just share our emotions with flowers. So it's just that place of healing.
Together with other upcoming female flower farmers, Nzwi has formed a collective to share ideas and grow together.
Here we grow a lot of seasonal flowers, what is in season in sync with nature, and we're trialing out new stuff and see how it works with our environment. So here we've got agrostema. It comes in a variety of colors. It is a versatile filler and just gives a wild and whimsical look to your bouquets. Snapdragons come in a variety of colors. As you can see, this is now starting to bloom. And these are carnations here. This is a beautiful white carnation, and they are really, really a beautiful flower, and they've got a lovely cinnamony scent. Ranunculus have no scent, so if you've got sinus issues like me, these are very good to have them in your bouquets because they don't affect your sinuses. And they also have an exceptional vase life, can last up to 14 days in a vase. This is foxglove, also comes in a lot of colors and a lot of varieties. This is a Dalmatian that we're growing here. These are one of my favorites at the moment. As a flower farmer, you can never have a set favorite, but I must say at the moment, this is my favorite.
Even if this advocate didn't show interest in her mother's veggie garden, her own children love their mom's new field of work.
I think motherhood is a very humbling experience. You learn that you're not the one who comes first. You learn to put someone else first before you. Also, just mothering a special needs child gives you a whole sense of humility, a whole sense of responsibility, and I'm grateful for the journey that I've walked. Although it's a difficult journey, I think it has taught me life lessons that I perhaps otherwise would not be aware of. So while it's painful in many respects, I'm grateful for the opportunity that I've had to raise these two beautiful children. It's also lovely to spend time with the kids playing and arranging with the flowers. My flower arranging skills are shocking, but my daughter loves the color and the versatility of flowers, and we also try to involve my son in it, though sometimes it's difficult.
The thing I like doing with my mom the most is going to the market to sell flowers. My favorite color flowers are pink because they make me happy.
Matipa's mom has started growing lesser-known varieties to get florists and event planners expanding their options.
So in arranging flowers, I think the greatest tip that I can give is just go with your heart. Ensure that there's shapes, the arrangement, and that there's just a lovely color coordination. So you see, this is pinks and white together, and I'm just going to put some of this white salvia in there to just have some of that texture element coming out. In the future, we obviously hope to grow our farming space and have more flowers. And right now it's dahlia season coming in, so we are also excited about lots of dahlias that we're going to be growing, and so there's lots in store. And we also open our farm up for people to come up and pick their own flowers, so on some Saturdays, so that's something to also look forward to. And given that Garden Day is coming, I also just urge you to all come out and spend time in your gardens with your friends and family, enjoying a picnic, a high tea, or a braai.
With demand on the rise, by next year, Nzwisisai Dyirakumunda aims to create work for young adults with cognitive disabilities so they can find the same hope and fulfillment she has. It all begins with planting a seed. Right after this, launching her dream paper flower business offers a young mum what no corporate salary could. The corporate jungle which Sam Mauvis excelled in was not fertile ground to grow her creativity. So, encouraged by her husband Emil, she traded a top salary to launch a paper flower company. Today, she's earning just as well while doing what she loves.
Hi, I'm Sam from Paper La Fleur. Come meet my family. This is my very special family. Over here we have Louis Emile Maubert, Mackenzie Fleur-Anne, Fleuriette, Emile, and Sam. I am a paper florist, and I turned my love for flowers into this thriving business by chance and also motivation from my husband. I created a Kate Spade flower wall for my best friend for her bridal shower. And after we did the bridal shower and her wedding wall, we had a lot of inquiries, and he said that all I needed to do was start a Facebook page and we'll take it from there. And here we are 5 years later. What inspires me and who inspires me is pretty much everyone in my family. If I look at my daughter, she inspires me to be free and be myself. If I look at my mom inspires me to be creative and to be strong through my faith and everything. And my husband inspires me to be an entrepreneur and just trust in myself and believe that I can produce a product that's worthy.
I'm not surprised that Sam's done so well in her business. She's a go-getter. Once she's got her mindset on something, she makes sure she gets it. So she's been very successful and she's very good at what she does.
There is a family destiny about Sam's move into floral decor and the naming of her business. It's been 4 generations in the making.
Our family name, Fleur, originated with my grandmother, Fleur, and then my mom was the next Fleur, Fleuriette. I was the following Fleur, Samantha Fleur-Anne, and then I named my daughter Mackenzie Fleur-Anne. And the name has meant so much to us. We love tradition in our family, and I thought it was just so fitting that Fleur, obviously French for flower, would be in my business name. So hence Paper La Fleur came about.
The qualities that I think have helped Sam with her venture are the fact that she's very determined. She loves to do new things and try them out and then perfect them. And once she's perfected them, then she loves to share them with others.
I love flowers because my mommy likes to make them. I fold the petals and I make the cards for her.
Make the cards for me, yes.
At little more than the age her daughter is now, Sam was playing with sewing machines and glue guns. By the time she was 12, she was organizing a baby shower for her mom, who was about to give birth to her youngest sister, Sarah Ann.
The way I learned my craft is basically, I want to say self-taught 80% of the time. If I'm going to right the first time, try again until I get it right. My favorite pieces to date have been anything from anniversary walls to wedding decor, but I think where I really thrive and what I really enjoy to do are baby nurseries. I am all about creating things that are unique to an individual. And when I sit down with the mom and we discuss how she is and what she's looking for her baby, I always push to be creative, and I want to make everything unique for every unique individual. I think the most important part of the entire process with the client is actually your pitch. They'll give you a brief, and sometimes you have creativity space and sometimes you don't. But then the next process is easy. Once you've got your design in place, it's pretty much cut and go and starting to build. And then it is such a blessing seeing the final look on my client's face, more so than the final look that we've presented.
Extraordinary hours and detail go into each bloom.
We are making a Shasta daisy. It's actually an indigenous South African flower, and I actually designed this flower working off pictures. You don't necessarily need anything fancy, you just need a design, draw it out with a pencil, and then cut along your design. When your petals are cut, it's so nice to use a simple chopstick and get a nice curl. I sometimes just use my hands, it's just out of habit, so that you get a nice round look for your layer. Then once you're done with that, you will stick individual layers together and ensure that they are not on top of each other directly and that there's a bit of an angle, so you're filling up spaces between your layers. The trick is as well that no flower looks the same, so it's really important to not make it so perfect and so structured, and to play around with your paper. You start with your biggest layers and then slowly but surely you'll build them all up. And to finish off, I'll take a little pearl just with a glue gun, stick it in the center, make sure my center's up around my pearl, making sure it looks a little bit more natural. And there you are. There's your little Shasta daisy. And what I like to do at the moment is to make flower pens, and it's so simple. All you need is a bit of paper, a pen, florist tape, a glue gun, and a pearl.
Sam first set up her business when she was pregnant and at home using a pack of paper and a pair of scissors. As her business has bloomed, her financial needs have changed and she's found the perfect partner.
In January, I opened my Capitec account, and I opened my Capitec account within 10 minutes, and it's been so worth the move because it was so simple, so easy. I had a virtual card immediately, I had all my bank details, and I had a bank letter. What inspired a change was that I realized I was spending thousands on bank fees with my old bank, and with Capitec, I've saved so much from day one. The thing I'm most happy with Capitec is that everything is so simple, so easy. I've never had to call their call center, but I also know that if I needed to call them, they'd be there and they will be there to assist me.
To get an idea of the work that goes into a full installation, we dropped by the nail and beauty bar of Sandy Kukuvas, who witnessed an entire tree take shape.
When Sandy contacted me, she sent me pictures that I wasn't unfamiliar with, but had never obviously had the opportunity to create something on this scale. We decided the shape of the tree with Sandy. We had it cut out of MDF, and then built the foam on the tree on the MDF, shaped the foam, then wrapped it in chicken wire, and then made over, I think it was 2,500 flowers.
Samantha absolutely met my expectations and exceeded them. The detail that has been put into this tree reflects on the detail that we like to put into our work as well. So it is, but see that there's a lot of love and time and care into my salon as well in the work that Sam has created for us.
I dream of achieving something big, something bold for Paper Le Fleur, something unique that keeps us unique, that gets us into all spaces, regardless of where it is, if it's a barbershop or if it's a shopping center. I just want to be out there and creating unique wherever I go.
Having seen her leap of faith pay so handsomely, Sam believes you can't say you're not good at something until you try. So, if you have a live better dream for yourself, tell us what it is and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Rand towards it. Simply reply to the competition post on the Insider SA social media platforms using hashtag CapitecLiveBetter. T's and C's apply and can be found on the Insider SA website. Still to come, Tyler Page's dad knew his daughter had something special, just not how far her star would rise.
Sponsored by Capitec.
At the age of 20, singer-songwriter Tyler Page has just released her EP titled Game Over. And it would be if this was a contest. An artist with anything but your garden variety voice, her sound is unmistakable.
I was scared of death. Welcome inside SA. My name is Tyler Page. Come spend a day with me as you create some beautiful music and spend some beautiful time in some beautiful nature. Come follow me. So my musical journey began literally off of social media. I was always too shy to post singing videos and stuff, so one day I just played on my ukulele and I took a video of myself and I sent it to my friend and he was like, you just posted it. And then I got noticed there and then everything just blew up. But I got recognized by a few people and then Bad Future label recognized me and then they asked me to sign them. And then that was 2 years ago, that was 2020, so in matric. And now I'm signed with Warner Africa, which is, I can't even deal.
The family are all musical, but to the father of this young girl, Jason Page, his daughter always had something special.
Tyler's grown up from a little baby, always wanting to sing, very colourful child, very arty, and from a very early age realised that she had something, a small gift, not knowing where it would turn out or where it would go to. And out of the blue, she said, Dad, I want a ukulele. So I bought her one for her birthday and she was over the moon. And, you know, and 16-year-olds they go into the room, close the door. And one Saturday afternoon, I walked past her bedroom door and I heard her, what I thought was listening to YouTube, you know, and how to learn how to play an instrument, what you do on YouTube. And I thought, oh, that sounds quite nice on YouTube, and it looks like she's getting into the right kind of vibes and all that. And a couple of minutes, I walked by the bedroom again, and I stopped, and I thought, that's not YouTube, that's my daughter singing and playing.
The open feeling expressed in Tyler's songs may be because these are emotional times.
You know, when my mom and I sing, my dad always joins. It's normally my dad that starts off, and our favorite song is Over the Rainbow. I think that song just makes us super emotional because, I mean, my family and I, we've lost many people in our family and many friends that are close to our families. And even recently, like, so many people are just, you know, going over the rainbow. And I think it just takes us back to, you know, be grateful that for the life that we have and that we are still here on this earth. The reason why I wanted a ukulele was because I heard the song Riptide by Vance Joy, and I was literally in love with that song because I saw one of my friends in school, she had a ukulele and she was singing that song and I was like, I want to be you, like I want to do that too. So that's literally, that song started everything for me.
Recording is a collaborative process of refining backing tracks, lyrics, and vocals as many times as it takes.
I think I would describe my sound as different. I say that a lot, but I literally, whenever someone asks me this question, I never know how to answer it because I'm like, my voice is so different. I can't really put it into a specific box. It's like alternate pop, but like emotional, like real vibes, you know, like I'm not trying to do fake stuff. Like I'm not trying to be a cheesy artist. Like I want to create real music and things that people can relate to. And I think it's good, it's cool.
You told me it was meant to be, but now you're just my enemy. I used to call you family.
I listen to so many different types of music and I don't mimic these people, but I learn different things from all these people and it kind of just mushes up into one thing, and that's where my sound kind of comes from. But really it's just many hours in studio, changing things, changing the smallest things. It can literally be like the tiniest thing ever and it'll ruin the whole song. But yeah, it's just so many hours in studio and creating something that we love.
I wonder what I did to make you hate me so much. You couldn't look me in the face. The images just dance around me, grappling with the truth that set me, and I stumbled all over my insecurities. And
Coming from being a little girl, I'm still little, but coming from singing in my room with my ukulele to now releasing my first EP, it's a dream and I don't even know how I got here. It just feels amazing. My EP, there's a whole bunch of different sounds in it. It's not one storyline. So you're gonna cry, you're gonna feel nostalgic, you're gonna jam your heart out in your room. It's amazing, and if you can relate to one song, that's amazing.
A similar ability to reach people in the personal place they are at is at the root of a gardening initiative by Nazima Jacobs.
Streetscapes is a NGO project, and we established in the heart of the CBD area. And Streetscapes is created for helping the homeless people and the people that is on substance abuse. I've done Streetscape like 5 years back. I was staying on the street and there was some stuff that took me back to my past, took me back to substance abuse. So while I was planting, I never knew as you planted, you were like nurturing your own life. And as the plant was growing, I was also growing.
Tyler was here as she believes in society not judging, but rather encouraging people to find their way by being themselves.
I didn't even know you can eat beetroot leaves.
I didn't know that either.
I know I must eat the at the bottom, not this. So it's nice. And this you can put in your smoothie if you make your smoothie and that just.
That's fun because the
nice.
smoothie kind of hides the taste of the
Yes,
leaf.
yes.
Where your heart is, I wonder what I did to make you hate me so much.
This is our hydroponics. So here we have some celery, and we have some flat leaf parsley and some coriander.
See, to me, those are the same thing.
No, you can see by the leaf.
Yes.
You see the difference?
Yes.
When I started here, I didn't know nothing. I was just like, yes, you must water the plants and you must do this.
That's literally me.
After, I'm like, why are you putting it in the gutter? Because I know this is gutters.
Yes.
And then they taught me and I learned and I knew, okay. So today I know.
Amazing.
Everything is.
Whether it's hearing your song on the radio or enjoying a salad you've grown yourself, it is sweet to taste the fruits of your work.
Walking around with Nazima has been so inspirational, and I've learned a lot. I've eaten things that I've never eaten before, so it's been super fun. But you know, just being out in nature, it's a space where your mind can feel free, and I think that helps anyone really, not even just being a creative. When walking around, spoke about how everyone's a seed, and when you nurture yourself or something nurtures you, you grow. And you can grow into anybody, and you can grow into that person that you want to be. And I think especially looking at Nazima, coming from where she came from and where she is now, she is such an inspiration. And it just shows that if you put your mind to something, that you can do it.
It was meant to be, but now you're just my enemy.
My dreams for my career is just to be successful. I just want to do music, sing, have people relate and connect to me. But you're going to see more from me, honey. That's all I can say.
We look forward to it, Tyler, and the same from Nazima and the gardeners of Streetscapes.
Forever, forever, forever is a dirty word.
Nada. Feel Good production.